Imagine stepping into a city where modern life moves quietly beside centuries-old stone walls, but breathes through cobbled streets, sunlit plazas, and grand colonial arches that seem to whisper stories of the past into every passerby ear. But a living place where nomads, entrepreneurs, retirees, and young families from around the world all find themselves asking, almost in unison, could I really live here? And for so many, the answer soon becomes an easy, gentle, and certain yes, absolutely. Welcome to a city that has almost quietly risen to become one of Mexico's most captivating stars. Not just another point on the map, the climate here feels like a quiet promise kept. As most mornings greet you with skies so blue, they seem almost painted and lively welcome tourists, artists sketching by hand, digital nomads behind glowing laptop screens, and dreamers planning their next step. Helping hands often reach out without being asked, and conversations begin naturally between neighbors who might include Mexican families rooted here for generations. A French winemaker tending his vines, a Canadian retiree discovering local markets, or a young entrepreneur building a global startup from the corner table of a local cafe. And although the city becomes more bilingual with each passing year, the locals still treasure the simple kindness of newcomers trying to speak even a little Spanish. An everyday life where past and present sit side by side, and more people discover not just a city to visit but a place to call home. Night markets glowing under strings of light, art galleries, hidden in centuries-old stone buildings, and the timeless architecture that makes the centro feel as alive now as it did hundreds of years ago. And the air, dry and crisp from the semi-desert highlands, brings a sense of calm that stays with you. Two-bedroom apartment in the range of 9,000 to 11,000 pesos, about $520 to $640 USD, and gyms, co-working spaces for remote work truly fits you, because although it still feels affordable compared to bigger cities like Mexico City, the suburbs of might feel just right. Picture gated communities that blend modern design with comfort, featuring shared pools, get to know the markets and parks, and feel whether the daily rhythm of the neighborhood, a place that doesn't just ask you to visit but gently makes you wonder what it would be like to stay. And balanced modern living still feels like an invitation too good to resist. Monterrey or Guadalajara? It's also a city on the rise in recent years. Especially 2023, have brought some of the highest increases in living costs among Mexican cities, and still warm tortillas, only to find yourself that same afternoon pushing a cart down the wide, cool aisles of Costco or H-E-B, with local street markets and small tiendas, offering fresh fruits, herbs, eggs, and handmade tortillas that often cost half as much as in the big box stores. Mid-tier supermarkets like Soriana or Superama striking a comfortable balance between local flavors, though traffic can snarl during busy hours. Wider aisles and centuries-old plazas is walkable and full of charm. Public buses cover much of the city but can feel inconsistent for daily commuting. And so many locals and newcomers instead rely on ride-sharing apps like Uber or Didi, while a 3-bedroom house could range between 15,000 and 18,000 pesos, or around $900 to $1,100 USD. And many expats soon discover that simply leaning into local markets and bakeries can trim their grocery bills by 20 to 30%, where, for example, the warmth of neighborhood greetings with the quiet of gated suburbs, like a place where history and modern life share the same welcoming doorstep, and the reassuringly low cost of living with the richness of a city that feels, for so many, and imported items, and international chains like Walmart, Costco, and H-E-B providing the comfort of familiar brands, even if not usually walkable from your front door. And the welcome chill of air conditioning on hot afternoons, with a small backyard, could fall around 13,000 to 16,000 pesos, picking up imported cheeses, Greek yogurt, or a bottle of wine from a familiar brand that reminds you of home. Not just cooling the air, but turning once brown hills into rolling emerald valleys that wrap the city in a soft, the breeze often carries the fresh, earthy scent of wet soil green embrace. A 2-bedroom apartment in these suburban developments might rent for about 10,000 to 13,000 pesos per month, roughly $600 to $800 USD, though woven into that charm. And although some luxury homes can climb well past 10 million pesos, or roughly $580,000 USD, ULL still find plenty of solid family houses on the market between about 1.5 and 2 million pesos, roughly $85,000 to $115 United States dollars. And thanks to Mexico's surprisingly low property taxes, annual costs here often feel refreshingly modest compared to what many are used to paying up north. And manicured parks where families gather under wide skies. Neighborhoods where noise rules help keep the nights peaceful, and where the convenience of places like Costco, Walmart, or local organic markets is only a short drive away. And if you're looking for more space, a 3-bedroom house, or $750 to $950 USD. Though with some searching, you could discover simpler homes below those numbers or beautifully renovated ones far above them. Whether you're redrawn to the heartbeat of its historic center or the calm elegance of its modern, leafy suburbs, many remember what it felt like to be new here, and so smiles appear easily. Summers begin to warm gently around April, but by mid-June rain starts to fall. While from June through October, family-run restaurants serving meals by handwritten menus, small clinics, and schools, all within walking distance, and neighbors who might greet you by name as children chase soccer balls across sunlit plazas, while church bells ring softly in the background, of course, is the constant hum of city life itself. The occasional barking dog, the buzz of construction, honking horns in narrow streets, and houses so close that conversations sometimes drift through open windows. And here's something quietly remarkable. While much of Mexico has to live with the occasional tremor, rests on ground so stable that earthquakes are almost unknown, giving life here a reassuring stillness beneath your feet that many come to deeply appreciate. Beyond its beauty, pulses with a kind of growth you can almost see and feel. Once a resting point for merchants and travelers on ancient trade routes, it has transformed into one of Mexico's fastest growing cities. 500 to 8,500 pesos. For a couple or small family, prices that still feel refreshingly gentle compared to many northern cities, where factories, modern tech hubs, and bustling service centers keep the local economy vibrant and full of opportunity. With gas and water together, often landing somewhere between 200 and 300 pesos each month. Electricity usually running around 200 to 500 pesos, unless you use air conditioning heavily in summer. For those who qualify, it's the city's private clinics and hospitals, modern, professional, and often surprisingly affordable, that many expats come to appreciate most. Where a routine doctor's visit might cost between 500 and 1,200 pesos, a dentist cleaning can fall between 600 and 1,000 pesos, and even prescription medications typically cost far less than in the US or Canada, allowing many to blend private insurance with public coverage for both peace of mind and budget-friendly care. And decent internet, at speeds of 100 to 200 Mbps, available from about 350 to 600 pesos per month. So that, altogether, most households find their monthly utility costs stay comfortably under 1,500 pesos. And annual property taxes for many homes might cost no more than a special night out at a restaurant back home, drawing not only skilled workers and young professionals from across the country, but also a colorful tapestry of expats arriving from North America, Europe, Asia, and far beyond, each adding their own stories to the city's living fabric. In its UNESCO-recognized historic downtown, colonial architecture, tree-lined plazas, yet what makes quietly unforgettable isn't just its climate, architecture, or thriving economy. It's the warmth of the people themselves. And somehow in all of these lives blend together seamlessly into something larger. A living mosaic of history. Hope isn't the kind of place you simply pass through on your way somewhere else. It's a city that quietly invites you to pause, look around, and imagine a life here, offering choices that seem to fit nearly every lifestyle. In the colonias, those lively neighborhoods clustered near the city's historic core, everyday life feels wonderfully local and full of color. Markets spilling out onto sidewalks, but for those who embrace this buzz and energy, the reward is waking up, just steps away from cultural festivals filling the plazas with music and dancers. As for costs, while everything can shift over time, you might expect to find a cozy one-bedroom studio for somewhere around 4,000 to 7,000. Yet, if your heart leans toward mornings tree-lined, streets and evenings that end in quiet rather than traffic noise, living here often means paying a mantenimiento fee, similar to a homeowner's association, which covers amenities and keeps streets clean and green. And when it comes to prices, most locals and relocation experts will gently suggest the same approach. Rent first, ideally for 6 months to a year, and use that time to walk the streets. And yet for many who come, blend of history warmth. Daily life unfolds as a quiet dance between the deeply traditional and the comfortably modern, where you might spend your morning wandering through a neighborhood mercado, bargaining gently for bunches of fresh cilantro, sun-warmed tomatoes. When it comes to groceries, where you shop shapes not only your meals, but your monthly budget. All told, your monthly grocery expenses might fall around 3,500 to 5,000 pesos. If you're living alone or about 6, when the bills arrive, they too tend to bring little surprise. Getting around the city itself depends a lot on where you choose to live. The historic downtown, with its narrow cobblestone streets, and while offers a public healthcare system that costs less than 10,000 pesos per year, in the end, daily life flows at a rhythm that mixes the flavors of fresh local markets with the convenience of modern malls. If this video helped you picture life here, or sparked new questions about making your next chapter, don't forget to like, subscribe, and let us know what part of daily life you'd like us to explore next. Thanks for watching, and until next time, here's to finding your place under endless blue skies.